What's up, guys? Happy Monday. This is James for Escaping the Neon. I'm out here on the big mower, taking a nice lunch break out here in a beautiful field. It's just day, waiting for the cicadas to pop out here soon. I imagine by tomorrow or the next day, we're going to be crazy swamped with a trillion cicadas. So that'll be fun to look forward to. Get a little Nat Geo documentary right in my backyard. But anyway, I just wanted to give a quick update as far as how everything went at the farmers market and what we're going to get going this week. So the market went really good, all things considered. Definitely one of our, well, it was absolutely our best day so far this year. And I think a lot of that had to do with the signage that we put out there. And plus, a lot of things at farmers markets are weather dependent. And we got an absolutely gorgeous day, so people were in a great mood and lots of people turned out, so that was good. But so basically, when all was said and done, we made about $470. So definitely not a bad day. That's roughly an entire week of parks work for me. So I mean, a little under an entire week of parks work, but roughly that's about $40 short of a week of work that I'm doing right now. So really good, super exciting. Obviously I have a good bit invested into it, but it's great to see that kind of coming back into my pocket, and I know it's going to grow from there. So that's super duper exciting. So from a farmer's market perspective, what I'm going to work on this week is number one, I want to start bringing iced coffee, because really the coffee sales after 10 o'clock are basically non-existent. So what I really want to do is get a cold drink for, it's going to be getting up to 80-90 degrees here come summertime and all that. So I think just like a cup of iced tea, cup of iced coffee, I think that will go really well. So I'm working on figuring out exactly how I'm going to get iced coffee and iced tea to that market. Shouldn't be that hard, but I gotta figure out picking up ice that morning, and just figure out the legalities of what I'm gonna have to take care of at that same time. And today is actually one of the things I'll mention later on, but I am going to be calling the health department of Frederick to figure out, there's a few other things. One of them I actually came up with this weekend that I want to kind of dive into, because I know, as I mentioned, I'm gonna get an enclosed trailer for that market, so it's a lot easier for me to store my stuff and bring it back and forth to the market. So once I get that enclosed trailer, another thing that I'm hoping to do, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I definitely consider myself a pretty good chef, and I make some pretty good stuff. So what I'd like to do is rent out a commercial kitchen, which is widely available. You can easily find that online. Rent a commercial kitchen for 4 or 5 hours during the week. And then create dishes that are using produce, meats, dairy, cheese, eggs from the market, and then that way I can kind of showcase like meals you could be making, if you're going to the market and buying this stuff. And so basically what I want to do is create these meals, probably do a different one every week. We'll see how it plays out, though. Haven't quite figured that out, but basically I want to make food, then vacuum seal it. I have a vacuum sealer already, so I want to vacuum seal the meals and then freeze them, and then sell those pre-prepared meals as kind of like a TV dinner, like an upscale TV dinner style thing. And what that's going to take, I believe, to get an order is going to be, I'm going to need commercial refrigeration space so that I can store the stuff during the week. And then I'm just going to need a big cooler that I can get a lot of ice packs in to keep everything frozen while I'm actually physically there at the market. So it looks like, as of right now, if I want to start doing the iced coffee and the pre-prepared frozen, let's call them TV dinners, looks like I'll probably be bringing roughly 4-ish large coolers to market. So again, I think that's really going to kind of be super important for me to get that enclosed trailer, because right now I just don't have enough space with all the boxes of popcorn I'm bringing, all the coffee equipment, everything like that. Even bringing My mom's SUV and my pickup truck, still a little bit low on space, and it cost me a long time in the morning to get everything loaded up and then unload at the end of market. So I'm working towards that, and that's something I'm definitely going to try and get going. Again, I'm going to call the health department of the county that I'm working through and see what else I'm going to have to add on there to be able to sell that prepackaged food. And also, like I mentioned before, I would like to cook meal, or just simple like breakfast sandwiches in the morning, hot dogs in the afternoon. I have a large Blackstone griddle, big cast iron thing that's totally made for stuff like that, and you can definitely feed a crowd with it. And it's super easy to use, and it's relatively easy to transport if I had an enclosed trailer. So I'm definitely working towards that this week. I'm going to do a couple other things. I'm looking at a multifamily property today. So again, if just for a refresher, basically what I'm trying to do with the multifamily aspect is I'm trying to use commercial or conventional residential financing. And you can use residential financing for up to a 4-unit property. So my goal is to my goal is to live for free, rent free, and have other people pay off my asset for me. And what I want to do is essentially continue to do this for at least 5 years and get about 5 of these multifamily properties, which should at least easily cover my current salary right now. Should my five income producing properties would easily cover what I make currently. So the end goal of all of this is financial freedom. That's what I'm working towards. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think I see how to get it done. It's just a matter of actually putting it into process now. And again, I'm just out here trying to show people that if you're willing to put in the back end work and understand the process, and there's certainly more than one way to skin a cat, right? But I think it's important that you look up what you're going to do and do the research to figure out how you're going to escape, and there's a ton of ways to do it. But the way that I'm going to focus on right now is growing these side hustles. So growing my side business into my full-time business, have that kind of be a source of passive income is what I'm hoping for. Meanwhile, building my assets as far as real estate, I'm going to stay somewhat away from the stock market right now. Like I mentioned, I did make a good bit off of crypto, a good bit in my opinion. It was a couple, $15,000, something like that. But super happy with that. But that was just a huge luck of the draw type of thing. And I don't think that that's going to be a sustainable way to be making passive income, anything like that. So again, what I'm trying to do is take the money that I earn off of my business and off what I'm earning off my 9-to-5, and I want to transfer that money to kind of work for me into a different asset class. And the asset class I'm trying to use is real estate. Something I'll touch on right now, and I'll touch on in another video. I may even dedicate an entire video to talking about this, but I do want to mention with my significant other, my fiance, it has been a tough sell and definitely an uphill battle with, because basically what she's looking for is, kind of a starter dream home. She wants a little yard, white picket fence type of deal, and a decent sized single family home that, she can be comfortable in, a space that she can call her own, which is totally fair, totally understandable. But what I've been begging and pushing really hard is just, look at the 5-year plan, look at 5 years down the road. The end goal is to have passive income. She's already struggling at her job, which is nursing. She's already struggling as a nurse as far as the workload and just the demands of the job. It's like super mentally taxing. And, my biggest point to her is I don't want you to have to do this for 40 years. We need to find a way to get out of this so that you're not literally required by a contract you signed for 30 years of your life to pay somebody back. I'm terrified of that. And, I think it's a huge trap that so many people, and it's super easy to fall into, and it's super common, so nobody even really talks or thinks about how, It's absolutely insane to sign your life away to somebody else and give somebody, basically multiple people, a bank and then a boss or a job. And you're basically giving them full control of your life. They get to determine when you go on vacation. They get to decide whether you're sick enough to stay home. I mean, that's just crazy as hell. And I'm terrified of it, and I absolutely hate it. And I refuse to get there. And we had to have a serious conversation over the weekend, because there's a property that I'm really interested in, a 4-unit property that's about 20 minutes away from where she works. It's a real small town, nice part of town. And I'm super interested in it, and I know it cash flows right now. I know currently, without renting one of the units, it cash flows $1,600 over what the cost of the mortgage would be. So when you subtract $960, which is what the cost of one of these apartment units is going for, one of the larger ones, when you subtract that out, we're still positive cash flow on this property. We just have to live in an apartment for a year, and that's kind of mandatory. You have to, if you're going to use the conventional financing instead of investment property financing like we're trying to do, which, mind you, we can get in at 3.5% as opposed to your typical 20 to 25% down on an investment property. But you have to stay there as your primary residence for a year. So basically what I keep saying is, struggle with this for a year, live in this apartment, which in all honesty isn't even a struggle. Millions and millions of people live in apartments, and it's not a big deal at all. She just grew up in a residential neighborhood where, she's kind of got the freedom and happiness of a single family home with a nice little yard, and that's what she's going for, and that's okay. But, really, I'm just trying to put this idea in her head, and it is hard, and I'm sure this is going to be a constant struggle for people that are like me, trying to do similar things as to what I'm trying to do. Is if you have a partner who's not necessarily into learning these type of things and figuring out how to escape, or doesn't even realize that it's super important to escape, or doesn't realize that it's possible to escape these shackles of the bank and a boss, it's really hard to explain these concepts and say that it is possible. Many people do it. You just don't hear too much about them because you're not looking in the right places. So it is a struggle, and we're definitely working through that. But, like I said, we had to have a very serious conversation this weekend, and I told her this is what I'm doing as far as investing and trying to escape the 9-to-5 rat race type of deal, because I'm not willing to do that for 40 years. And if I do have to do it for 40 years, I'm sure as hell going to work my ass off to try and get out of it, no matter when it happens. And that's something that, really, that is my main focus. I want to be free, as I'm sure, it's basic human instinct to want to be free. And we live in a place, at least in the United States here, where it's possible to be free. It's just a matter of putting in the energy, the effort, and the time, and the money. But yeah, so important conversations need to be had with your partner to kind of get them on the same page, and show them what you're working towards, and hopefully you can get them to read some educational things, and because it's just super important. I just don't see it working if you can't get your partner on board with you. It's really hard, and it's going to be a lot more of a struggle. There's going to be a lot more tears if you're not both working towards the same goal. But we did talk passive income. We talked a lot of great things, and I think we're on a really similar page now. I still think the idea of this makes her nervous. The idea of being a landlord and living next to your tenants and living next to people definitely terrifies her, which I totally understand. I'm a little bit squeamish as well. I've never been a landlord before, but what I am starting to understand pretty thoroughly is investing for cash flow as opposed to investing for capital gains. And that's what I want to be, as a cash flow investor, meaning I want to invest in things that are going to constantly give me a stream of money. And once I can build 6 to 7 small streams, I'm going to start having a big river of cash, and that's the goal. So anyway, sorry to ramble on about that, but I do think that's something important. So as far as goals for the week go, we're going to do our health department things with Frederick County. And then I'm still interested in doing the yurt at the piece of property that my family owns as an Airbnb. So I'm going to be calling that county in Pennsylvania and first of all, seeing what our property is zoned as and seeing if it's a possibility or how it's possible for me to put this, Airbnb yurt out there, and then kind of dive deeper into the costs involved and whether I want to invest that right away or how I want to play this. So that should be super exciting. Again, I know I talked about this before, but I do have a meeting coming up this week with one of these farms that's in that small town. I know I said that I'm trying to start somewhat of a CSA, which is basically you order online and then you pick up one day a week. So instead of having a storefront, we can still sell these same products we were planning on putting in that storefront. We're just going to do it all online and have a main pickup point. So we need this hub, if you will. And okay, cicada scared the hell out of me. But anyway, so we need this hub, which may also play really well into my need for commercial freezer space with the farmers market and making those meals. So we're going to keep walking down this road. Again, things are going well, things are picking up. I'm not expecting it to happen overnight, but I am watching my income grow slowly but surely. I also ordered the small bags because I'm going to try and sell to the farm/brewery that said they'd be interested in buying smaller bags of popcorn. And I'm going to take those smaller bags, and I'm also going to go around to a lot of other places like breweries who were interested, but I think the product isn't too big of a bag, and they just want some kind of quick munchy food type of deal that they can sell. So we're going to keep at it. May come back with another update later on today, but chances are I'll just check back in tomorrow. I hope you all have a great Monday. I hope everyone's had a good week or is gearing up for a great week. Check back in soon, and appreciate you watching.